here's a quick little warm-up to get us ready for our 4-4 to 4-6 quiz. Okay, you're going to have 5 of these problems on your quiz, the 5 scenarios. So you're going to, in this case, find 4 more zeros. I'm giving you one of them, so our job is to find 3 more. So we use the one that I gave you, make a half box, 2, 5, -5, -5, and 3. You go through that process, make sure you know the process, bring down this first number. You'll multiply, you add, you multiply, you add, you multiply, and you better get 0 at the end. So the good news is -3 times 1 is -3, and we're left with 0. Okay, so what this is going to result in is a cubic function. So this 2 is x cubed minus x squared minus 2x, and then my constant of 1. Okay, so we're going to set that equal to 0, and then you're going to see that you're either going to factor, and just one of them is going to be the quadratic formula. So the type of factoring that we do in this problem is just split it down the middle. On the left, we factor out an x squared. You're going to be left with 2x minus 1 inside the parentheses. We must have that on the other side, so we must factor out a -1. So it still agrees with this right side. -1 times 2x is -2x. -1 times -1 is the 1. But then I'm going to have x squared minus 1 and a 2x minus 1 as my factors. This can be broken up more since it's a perfect square minus a perfect square. So I'm going to write it as x plus 1, x minus 1, and then we have our 2x minus 1 factor. So once you see the factors, we know the answers. So -1 is a 0, +1 is a 0, and then this one, again, if you can't do this in your head, set it off to the side. 2x minus 1 equals 0. Add a 1, divide by 2. You'll see that it results in a 1/2, or a 0.5. Okay, so that's all 4 zeros. Fundamental theorem of algebra, the degree equals the number of zeros. Okay, so now this type of problem, you're going to see one of these where your job is to work backwards. So normally we are finding the zeros, but if I give you the zeros, you're going to write the factors, you're going to multiply, and you're going to get the rule. So here, my first step is to take these zeros and write the factors. So first factor would be an x minus 2. Then the next factor would be an x plus 5 and an x plus 3. Okay, so now we have 3 factors to multiply. You multiply any 2 of them. I'm just going to happen to multiply these 2 together. Keep my x minus 2 out front, and then I'm just going to do FOIL. So I have x squared. My outers and my inners are going to add up to an 8x. Again, right here is a 3x. Here is a 5x. Together, it's 8x. And then finally, 15 will be my number because 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so now still have to distribute this binomial. So I'm going to distribute the x to every term of the trinomial. So we have x cubed plus 8x squared plus 15x. Come around and distribute the -2. So, and I like lining up my like terms. So -2x squared minus 16x minus 30 for a final answer. And you can check this on a calculator. If you type this in the y equals screen and hit graph, it better agree with these 3 zeros, 3x intercepts. So we have a 6x squared. This will be a minus x minus 30. Okay, so again, make sure you know how to write the rule given the zeros. Okay, and the last problem is just simply to factor. We're not solving anything. There's no equation here. So you're supposed to instantly recognize that there's no GCF here. So always look for GCF, but we have a quartic trinomial. So super easy to factor, and you want to make sure you factor fully. Since it's not x squared, it's x to the 4th, it's going to be x squared, x squared. That's the only difference from a easy trinomial to factor. Here we need to add up to a 1x squared, so ways again, negative 12, 12 and 1, 2 and 6, 4 and 3, and in this case, I need a positive 4 and a minus 3, okay? And since this is not subtracting, don't think for a second that you can factor x squared plus 4. You can't. So we're finished. Okay, so that took 5 minutes to explain these 3 problems. Make sure you're prepared to take your quiz on 4-4 to 4-6. Thanks for watching. Take care.